Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We're going to be breaking down, discussing, dissecting the final episode of the season. This is the reunion episode special. This is part 2. Did we need a part 2? Let's see if we need a part 2. But before I begin, first and foremost, I'll give you a few seconds of hit the like button, yo. Hit the like button. Second of all, if I haven't heard from you all season, I want to hear from you. If I've been hearing from you all season, let's keep this going. And before I forget, drop in the comments what other show you want us to talk about. I'm not sure what show is lining up. I'm going to try my best. My work schedule is kind of funny, but we like, linking up like this. Third of all, before I get back to regular, scheduled programming, I'm going to be heading to the great country of Ghana, and my intent is to try and give you all a little piece of it every day. I'm going to do my best. Really, I will be there in the next 5 days, so I'm going to be vlogging from that. So watch out for the videos I'm going to show of me in Ghana. Yes, I'm from Nigeria, but this is my first time going to Ghana, and I'm excited. I'm going to try and hit YouTube with some content of my trip, because if you don't know where you're from, you don't know where you're going. You don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going, where you're from and who you are connected. And it's not necessarily me saying that, oh, we're going to, it has to be Nigeria. No, you touch that, that continent, the earth, the ground of that continent. That's where we all come from. Black, white, brown, yellow, green. You all know. That's why they're trying to come for the continent now. So I hope to go there and come back with some even, more powered up, Last but not the least, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. You all hit the video last week. Thank you very much for watching. Let's see how this goes, okay? All right, so we left off last week with, Tequila and Janelle coming off the stage. Janelle, she want to do her little, I want to trigger someone kind of stuff. Like, she gets off. Like, it looked like to me, like this lady, I don't call her a trick, this lady gets off on triggering people. So if you're not together emotionally, and if you don't give yourself enough time to watch people and read people, she's going to trigger you. So henceforth, Tequila is her little toy, so she's trying to play with Tequila. So Tequila has still been trying to play cool, I'm in front of guests, so I'm not going to act out. But she starts off with a feather comment. And then she goes on to now say, oh, Tequila, you want to fight me? Tequila says she about to set this shit off. I don't know where she thinks she is. Like, Tequila, we talked last week. Let's talk again. Don't allow small fries, whether they're small fries or big fries. Don't allow people to trigger you, because you ultimately are in charge of how you react. Life is how we respond to it, not what happens to us. Because ultimately, as adults, that's how we make those decisions. But that's all I'm going to say for it. Because but y'all, I'm like, did y'all see how Quentin was looking like? I'm just wondering, like, is he in it to win it? Or is he in it because she begged him, please keep my secret? I know you don't want me anymore because you've seen who I am. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But the guy just looked horrified. And it seems like every time there's a misunderstanding between his girl and somebody else, like, he just looks like, a deer caught in headlights. So first packet of the part 2, they line up Janelle, Katrina, and then just for filler, they throw in Maurie and Quentin. Uncle, nephew Tommy talk about, you want to get to the bottom of the misunderstanding between Kat and Janelle. No, you don't. You just want to see if you can set something off and make the episode interesting. You're trying to make up for the dry, underwhelming, flat season that just rolled by us. So you guys trying to get it popping off. Let's see. So, this is like, to me, this is the only fair fight in the reunion. Anytime they put Janelle and Katrina opposite, fair fight. Katrina will go to her toe for toe. And she keep her cool. But she warned her, like, yo, fall back, I'm not the one. You're not gonna be playing my buttons like that. This is me thinking. That's how Katerina's thinking. So Uncle Nephew Tommy's question is like, what's the misunderstanding between y'all? Katerina said, there's no misunderstanding. This girl just triggered me. Like, I can't stand her. Okay, but she now goes to further define that I don't like the way she thinks she's better than everyone and is disrespectful. That I can listen to her, but the minute I'm talking, she doesn't agree with me. She can't listen to me. And right there, just like show and tell, you see this girl doing this, and I mean, this is Janelle, literally giving us a show and tell what Katerina is saying. But the only thing that's holding Janelle back is like, if she says something, then she feel like she's going to show her which she is. I mean, she's already shown it, because the camera's not necessarily, can't lie. You can't lie in front of the camera all day, and Janelle's not that good an actress. So it's like, Janelle, if you think the public at large don't see through all what you're doing, we've seen it too, but we'll just have to leave it, because at least you're not doing it to me or mine. Try that somebody else, you might get checked properly. And I don't mean violence, I just mean like you meet your match, because I think you're walking around thinking like you're more intelligent than everybody else. I don't know, because your response was like, yeah, I don't know why they're all obsessed with me. So that's not even an intelligent response, to be quite frank with you. I think one of the shallowest, easy, weak responses you can give to another woman is, you're jealous of me, you're obsessed with me, all of that. Girl, that's weak. It shows that you lack imagination. You're not witty enough to come up with a more plausible denial or explanation or rebuttal. Talk about, yeah, you're obsessed with me. That's weak, tired, played out. That's for little kids in nursery, kindergarten, talking at each other, playing like tennis or something dumb like that. I don't know, whatever it is. They're jealous of me. They can't get enough of me. Girl, please. Then she tried to step up her game a little bit. And she said something about my presence challenges their mediocrity. Girl, I know you like Prime. Coach Prime been on about this, but Coach Prime is convincing and truly has presence. Girl, that's not you. Please sit in your lane and either listen to these girls or be quiet, because your responses are just they're not hitting. You in the moment you feel like you're giving it, you're not. Those of us are watching you are not feeling that you're giving it, where I'm. And people like myself are looking like, really, this is what you're giving? Because the truth is, we honestly would love to have a better understanding of why you're caught up in all these combative moments. And yes, I use the word combative. Don't come for me, my comments, at your family member. Don't at me. Why you're combative with all the different ladies on the platform. I don't know. A part of us, we're curious, would love to get an understanding as to what's really going on. Are all these people just against you because you're beautiful? Because lady, all the other ladies are beautiful too. Let's be real. The lady you're arguing with right now, Katerina, dare I argue that she probably finer than you, but I don't like to compare ladies or put them against each other. So it's not about beauty right now. Figure, I'm not even going to go there, because I'm not going to be that kind of cat tonight. I'm not going to be catty, or or petty patty. I'm not going to do that. So let's throw appearance aside. What is it? You didn't give us anything. You gave us something really mediocre. You said people are mediocre. Your responses were mediocre. You really felt, I don't know if you went to go and prepare those tired lines. It felt like a really flat season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, where they tried to get their reads pre-done. No, if it's not genuine, it's not coming off. So whatever she tried to do to respond to Katerina didn't really hit. It didn't hit for me. It was just like, she really is like that. I don't know. In the background, Marvin talk about, oh yeah, she combative. Like he was giving us some info. I'm not mad at him. Let him talk. When did combative become the F word? I don't know. And then there's another part where, Q is trying to defend his girl. My guy, I just want to explain to you now. I don't know when A and B were there, how C came into conversation. Please see your way out. Unless they didn't show us the part where Uncle Nephew Tommy says, yo, Quentin, what do you think? I don't know how Quentin's math. In fact, Uncle Nephew Tommy, if you invited Quentin into this scenario, you goofed, because what's a man's place in a conversation or a misunderstanding between two women? Please ask me if I'm talking crazy. I don't know what his view is. Nobody attacked, nobody jumped on the couch and tried to catch his lady or punch her or do anything. It was simply a conversation, a smart conversation, because there was nothing like this. There was no rah. It was just like, this is how I feel and this is how I feel. So how Quentin's like, I don't know the rubbish he said, but it was rubbish. Quentin, you know you're my guy, but this is when you fall back. Okay? He'd fall back. So yeah, his little 3-4 cents was completely unnecessary and brought your stock down. Who you associate yourself with will really determine the direction of your life. 1, 2, how people perceive you. Now you may say, oh, you know what, I don't care what people think. You know what, before people come into your space to bring opportunities or strong relationships that could bring opportunities or relationships that could bring joy, they're going to prejudge you based on your appearance and how you look. So miss me with, I don't care how people perceive me. Who you hit your cart up with will determine the direction and speed of your life. You're either going to express train to nowhere or you're going to express train to somewhere, because you know when two come together, you're either going to go 2 down, you're like really strong, or 2 down really wrong. I'm just saying. So I'm not saying don't answer her, don't be her guy, whatever it is, but I'm saying at this point, guy, you're wrong. I don't know, because who was there speaking for Katerina? I'm just saying. So really, like, it looked like 2 against 1. Not right. Uncle Nephew Tommy, who's producing these sections for you, it don't look right. They're not producing it properly for you. We didn't. If he spoke, we should have edited it out. How about that? If you invited him, you should have uninvited him. That's what it looked like. It looked like 2 against 1, and it wasn't fair and it wasn't right. And those of us as the viewers were looking at like wrong. Why are you trying to defend what's wrong? You're even making a bad situation look worse, because Quentin didn't have anything to say. Should not have had anything to say. I'm just saying. Okay. So the next scene, they bring out Chris, Jessica, Lee, and Katerina. And finally, I think I'm there like, oh, that convo, that elimination date conversation, we're going to get to the bottom of it today. Like, yes. So they play their clip, you know, about the combative thing. So yeah, you and I know, we know, Chris said combative a lot of times. You know, he said it a lot of times. Yeah, you know, maybe he forgot. You know, people forget. I don't know, but Chris, you did say combative. Maybe you are saying you didn't say it to her, but you said it. Maybe you're saying you didn't say it in the group, but you said it. So I don't know, you know, but this is not ooh, gotcha, because we saw that already. So we moved on from that. Yeah, you said it. Say it with your chest. That's all. You okay? Just say it with your chest. I said it. You're combative and you are. Oh no, better yet, this is how you say it. Yes, dear. I said it. You are combative. Why I didn't say it on the show? I didn't confirm that on the show. Why should I? I don't need to tell what you already know, right? Boom. End of story. That's all you need to say. You don't have to explain. I don't explain nothing. I don't. You are combative. But I don't want to be seen going back and forth with a woman. That's not right and that's not fair. See how the lines I'm giving you? My guy. Talk to me, Chris. But anyway, so the combative comment. You may not, I think the question now is you may not have been the only one who said it. Right? But the peanut gallery at the back, when they show the back the audience scene, like, or rather the backstage scene, they're agreeing. Everybody say, you know, combative. Jessica, you combative. Jessica wasn't satisfied, or wasn't she felt that we weren't clear on what combative meant. So Jessica went ahead unknowingly, I don't know if she's trying to do another show and tell. She went ahead to show us what combative looks like. She turned to Lee and I believe Katerina, said some you ladies, and they're looking at her like, how you trying to bring me into this? I'm not part of this conversation, sis. And then she talk about, oh, see, they're mute. Katerina warned her, said, you're not my mama. I don't have to answer any of your questions. I'm not part of this conversation. Leave me out of it. And there's just something about bitches or something, and dismiss them. Lady, if you are having any issue with anybody using combative, fall back right now, because that was combative as hell. I don't know if you didn't see it or you know it. You wanted to emphasize it, you want to prove your point, or whether you said they already called me combative, let me act combative. I don't know. I don't know what your intent was. I don't know. But sis, think you have to find another lane and leave this combative argument alone, because you are combative as hell. And this was with cameras rolling. What are you doing when cameras aren't rolling? Anyway, let's go back to Chris. So we know Chris said it. Boom. But we still don't know what led him to losing his cool at the elimination date. He says some things about bullying, antagonistic behavior, but everything I'm hearing him say has nothing to do with how he was directly affected by Jessica to result in him having that outburst. Jessica is not talking. Chris is not talking. My people, what really happened? How did it go from here to you're a bitch and cha 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 cha? Till tomorrow, what they've put together as the clips have not been clear. Haven't had time to see, Chris. I haven't watched any of Chris's sit downs. I did see his sit down with, Crystal EXO, but nothing has come forth. I haven't seen any other sit downs. I haven't had time. I don't have that much time, but nothing to really explain what led him to lose his cool. Because like I was saying, yeah, he got played, but he could have played it real cool. Yeah, he could have showed up. Hey Jessica, what's up? Oh, I am? Cool. Nice one. I'll catch you later. Don't touch your drink, don't touch your meal, just walk off. We are giving them nothing to work with. But hindsight is 2020. It is what it is. But at this point, I'm not seeing how it went from 0 to 10 and nobody's talking. Now the thing here, if nobody's talking, something happened. When something doesn't make sense, we're losing context, and still they have not filled in the context for us. They're just giving us a bit, nah, my guys, I don't know if they're just hiding something just to keep the franchise alive, but something happened. So it's not news that she's part of a bullying ring. The ring is her, Janelle, or she's antagonistic. That's not a secret. But as a guy, if she was an interest, then no longer an interest. What's your own? Do people have children together? So that's the thing. Like, I still don't understand. And I'm not expecting everybody to process and behave how I would. But if we really don't have a connection like that, unless you cross me on the highway, you're not going to get a reaction like that. The driving issue, so I have a little bit of road rage. I think a lot of us do. But if it's not driving and it's not road rage, if I don't know you like that, you're going to work hard to get a response out of me, and then you get tired and still not get it. We have no real explanation for that outburst, so we're just going to have to let it drop, because nobody's talking. The next packet was Aries and Phil. And as they'll bring them out, Janelle's snickering. Do you see how they're seated, apart? Yeah, the Yama board is not working now. I think it was clear to all of us. Either choose me or choose the ceremony. That Aries chose herself. So what's the surprise about the seating? Did you watch the same episode, or you only watched your part of the episode? Aries didn't pick him, so they're not putting them together. What's the confusion? But anyway, they're going to do their packet. Aries goes on to re-emphasize, some of the concerns she had were about, she didn't say financial, but she meant financial stability, because he doesn't have an established career, and in 40s he's trying to get his leg into comedy. I'm not saying it's impossible. Please don't come for me. Apparently they did after the show, but it looked like nothing came of it. But they were not antagonistic and they're not rude to each other. So it does confirm that they did like each other, but I guess that wasn't enough. And I think, like I said last week, love isn't enough. It isn't. Not if you're a responsible adult and you have responsibilities. So I think the next packet, which was interesting, was Kira, Maury, Quentin. Conversation about whether Maury said that Kira was not black enough. That seemed to really hurt her feelings, and she was cognizant enough to say, I unliken it and say it's like me, the way I said to Quentin that he only likes white women. And there was a large part of the ladies, I think, in backstage who kind of agreed with her. I'm not sure what that's based on. Of course, they can't reveal their sources, so I don't know what's true or if it's not. But of course, you can't make those kind of statements without, having receipts, as they say. But she did acknowledge that, she said it just based on the vibe she got. I don't know if there's a vibe, but she said also he stays in Florida, and there they like to go for, that's what I'm going to say. That's usually the preference for a lot of the African American gentlemen. So maybe she didn't mean a white woman, she just meant that. I don't know. But I think of note here was the statement that Maury said when Maury was explaining why he didn't pick her. He said something about he's a part of a small sector of black consciousness, which is different than being part of the Beyonce Renaissance movement. The sense of self-importance was real, my guy. If you are what you say you are, that's not how you say it. You would say less. Less is more. I'm part of a small sector of black consciousness. My guy. So the rest of us are not part of it. Just you and your small sector. I can't teach him how to talk as a grown-ass man, but you know how they say one doesn't state the obvious? One doesn't state the obvious. It's implied in how I move, how I talk, how I see. Do I describe myself or show myself? Let me put it like that. He would have done himself a solid just by being. And I know the show requires them to put themselves, always prove and this and that and sell it, but it felt more like you selling a product that couldn't sell itself. It makes me question the value of the product. A small sector of black consciousness. Like, come on now. Martin Luther King? No. Malcolm X? Definitely not. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you like the new Black Panther president? No, I'm confused. Y'all help me out. Like, I'm just gonna let him be. I'm not gonna talk about him like that, but it just like, okay. It took it away. Let me put it like that. Having to state the obvious takes it away. State the obvious takes the power away. If a woman who's beautiful says I'm beautiful, it takes it away. Let it just be there for people to make their own decision. I don't have to force feed you what I think I am. For you to come up with such a convoluted statement, and you thought about it too much. And that's all I have to say about that. Now the situation of Kiera, you know, saying that Quentin, you know, is the type that looks like he likes to date white women. I think in 2023, somebody said, I don't remember what the person said or who the person was. Why do you really want someone that doesn't want you? Do I have to ask you, do you like me, or do you like people who look like me? I don't. I just move. If you do, you do, and if you don't, you don't. My presence, treat your presence like a privilege. That's it. There's not everybody that should have access to you. So if this is someone who doesn't find you interesting, just keep it moving. Yeah, this is just so. The whole thing I've already does. She closed that statement, and maybe she's trying not to let anything out. Talk about it was his vibe. Kiera, there's something else. You're not daft. There's something you know, but you're like, what's the point? I feel like that's what that is. Like, she's not saying it because the people backstage were nodding. So they all know something that we don't, but they decide not to put him on Front Street. Quentin, they decided not to put you on Front Street. That's why you couldn't talk much during this reunion, because you didn't talk at all. You talked very little. You used small trying to defend Janelle. That was it. Like, you didn't talk. I wonder if that's why you didn't talk. Love triangle, next packet. So what's the love triangle? You know what the love triangle is. Love triangle is Lee, Janelle, and Quentin. And then they talked about his struggle to juggle them. Okay. And this is where, and not everybody can have grace. Not everybody can have class. So I guess I shouldn't expect that from someone. Even though she likes to sell that product as, you know, part of her. But if you supposedly want the guy, there's a certain amount of grace that's required. And you just be like, cool. So the question had come up as to whether, you know, Janelle was cock blocking, to put it plainly, so that my guy will be blocked from talking to that woman. because he don't have a mind of his own. That's what she's telling us. Like, he can't maneuver on his own. She needs to intervene for him, or else he's not going to. And the truth is, he himself made no effort to do more. So if you walked into the house having to, like, this is the weakest triangle I've ever seen, the weakest season I've ever seen. If you walked into, you're not the first person to walk in the house to have two interests, but you could not give your second person any time at all, whether you knew or not. It shows a certain weakness in your character. I'm sorry. Say you knew that Janelle was the one or not, there should still be a basic level of respect and consideration for both of them. But you only had consideration for one person. You don't have to like someone like that to be respectful of the time they've given you. You, in my opinion, disrespected Lee just by the mere fact of ignoring her and being coerced into being around just Janelle. You made no time for Lee, and anytime she saw you with anyone, including Lee, she appeared from the middle of nowhere. That definitely shows how insecure she is, but it also shows that you yourself are not very secure or very strong. Respect the fact that you said she was an interest. But even if you went into that house knowing that she was no longer an interest, you didn't let her know. That's weak. And to emphasize the point, there were areas where they showed the clips of how you spoke with Lee. Lee did not make this thing up or wasn't in this connection by herself at all. Y'all remember the time when Lee led the, the workout session she did? And what's the name was all into it, and all of a sudden Janelle didn't have the energy and was just making faces because somebody else was shining. She really is an attractive woman who has no self-awareness and lacks a foundational self-confidence based on how she treats the other woman and how she refers to them. The only way she appears to feel good about herself is when she's putting people down. That's what it looks like. Now all this bases, all this conclusions and assumptions are made based on the clips shown on OWN Network. I'm not a therapist and I've not spoken with this lady, don't know her from Adam. But based on what I'm seeing and what I've seen, that's what it looks like. Now if she's playing a character, then that may not be her. But if she was for real, believing all the stuff she was saying and doing, then there's some element of what I'm saying that's true. And Lee aptly had said that it appeared that Quentin was uncomfortable talking with her or any other lady in the house. And then Janelle goes on to tap him on the shoulder. Sweetheart, were you uncomfortable? He's not a 5-year-old. Like, nobody has a problem with him wanting to be with one person, right? Nobody does. But he just didn't seem to be able to handle himself. In this segment, Janelle seemed extremely unkind, ungracious. Just the way she was like, yeah, he wanted me. Nobody's fighting with you over this guy. Have at it. If you like it, I love it. And that was Lee's energy. So Janelle's behavior just seemed to be on 10 while Lee was just looking at her on 1, like, no. I think at the end of the day, they did a segment of Janelle and Quentin. They say that they're dating, working out their relationship. But there's something key that Quentin said. He said that if we are getting into a relationship, we are getting married. I don't know where the if. Are they in a relationship? We'll see. At this point, then they went on to use all the time to push their new show. So all we know is the only couple that came out of it was Quentin and Janelle, which makes me think of Camille. I think his name was Cornelius from seasons ago, where it just looked like, you know, somebody had a dog chain around his neck. Same thing looked like with Quentin. It looked like somebody had a dog chain around his neck, and if you like it, we love it. But it was a lackluster season. Part 2 wasn't as interesting as part 1, I guess, because we kind of knew what was happening and nothing was really new about. We knew everything. They didn't reveal anything new. I had to sit down. Quentin and Janelle, what's his new? Somebody's pressing somebody's buttons. Like, everything was not revealed. So here we are. We're at the end of the season, and what do we get from this? All right, so Ready to Love season, wherever they call this season, is over. And what do we get from this that I think would be worth mentioning? I think, and I've said this 100 times, I'm going to say it again because it's worth saying, is like, even though this is a completely manufactured game show, it does have a tendency to reflect what happens in real life. Let's talk about what happens in real life. Do you not always see a guy who appears to be seen like a nice guy be attached to a woman who, by all intents and purposes, you're looking at like, he don't see it? That's why I see Quentin and Janelle. They're like, he don't see it? I don't get it, but it's not for us to get. But that's in real life now, right? Tequila. Let's talk about Tequila. Tequila is an emotional data. She's easily triggered because she wears her heart on her sleeve and hasn't done the work on herself to be able to really stand for herself and not take things personal. Some things can sting like they're personal, but you have to step back and reassess the situation. And most of the time when you reassess it, you'll be like, it wasn't even that bad. Tequila's not doing that. So her dating is probably very erratic. Let's talk about Jessica. How many businesswomen, women bosses do you know that say they want a real man, but when one comes in front of them, they think it's an insult to be a woman around him? And I said before, it's like, you're a boss woman. Do you want to be bossing everybody around, including the person you're with? I don't know if that's what you want, then maybe so. But some women I know of in real life are boss women, and they don't want someone they boss around, but they're not receptive to someone that they can't boss around, right? So then you have to really ask yourself what you really want, because everybody's relationship is different. What you want is different. There are some women that do want to boss someone around, and that's facts. And if you're a man who likes to be bossed around, then have at it. Go ahead. But I guess this time Crystal won't be one. He don't want to be bossed around. Mario, I don't know much about him, what he really do for a living, to be honest. He just called himself Black Consciousness, but he has a quality that has gotten lost in this generation: respecting women, pursuing women, being intentional. But he got lost, I think, in that in his real life he wouldn't have access to a lot of these women. They won't be looking at him, they won't be talking at him, they won't be doing any of this. So he lost himself, because Jessica not for him. Jessica don't want him, and he know that too. He trying to keep a secret that she don't want him. In real life, how many guys like that, enamored because they know that the woman that is looking at them is more than they possibly could handle somewhat, but they're hanging on with the hope that the fantasy that it could work. We've come to the end of the season. Like I said, it wasn't that interesting, wasn't that exciting, but here we are. Like I said, let me know in the comments what other show you'd like us to break down. And like I said at the top of the video, I definitely be trying to vlog my 10-day trip to Ghana, which starts next week. So just be on the lookout for it, and when I come back I'll try and squeeze in stuff. But don't forget to like the video. Let me know what y'all think, and last but not least, hit the subscribe button. Yo, Lola over and out.